Welcome. In this video we're going to be looking at how to make half of a Sunburst Granny Square. So today we'll be making the rectangle version, and in the next video we'll be looking at the triangle version, and that matches up with the regular Sunburst Granny Square. And in the last video we made this little mini version. So let's get started. So I'm going to be using DK acrylic yarn, the Style Craft Special DK range, and I'm using pistachio in the middle, toy for round 2, pale rose for round 3, and meadow for round 4. Yeah, and I'm using a 4mm hook, but that's only because I couldn't find a slightly bigger hook, so I'm going to be quite relaxed with my stitches. But if you've got a 4.5, I think that will be better. So we're going to start with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5. When you've chained 5, we're going to slip stitch into the first chain to join. And then we've got a little circle there. I'm just going to tighten up that first chain and pull that to the side. Yeah, I'm going to chain 1. And for round 1, we're going to make a total of 9 stitches. So that'll be 9 US doubles. If you're using UK terms, that's UK trebles. So to make my first stitch, we've already chained 1. I'm going to make a US single and then chain 1. And that's going to count as my first stitch. If you're using UK terms, that's a UK double, chain 1. And then we're going to make 8 more stitches. So 8 US doubles or 8 UK trebles. Yeah. So at the end of the round, check you've got the right number of stitches. So that's my starting stitch. And then so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At the end of the round, we're going to cut the yarn so we can change colour. So I like to chain 2. Cut the yarn, pull the hook, and then pull the chains tight, and then you can weave that in. Yeah, and that's round 1. For round 2, I'm using the colour toy, and we're going to start with a slip knot. And then we're going to make a standing US double, UK treble into that first stitch we made. Yeah, so I'm going to go in. So we want to yarn over. Make sure you hold your 2 loops. go into that top, oops, go into that top chain, pull the yarn through without snagging it. So you should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over. So notice again, I'm holding that loop in place, yarn that first loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You might want to just give a little tug to tighten the work. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're now going to give that first slip knot a little tug just to tighten that up, and chain 1. We're now going to make 7 into the next 7 stitches. We're going to make a 3 loop puff stitch into each stitch. So to make that, we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through, that's once, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through, twice, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through, 3 times. You should have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, and chain 1. And we're going to repeat that, making a puff stitch and chain 1 into the next. So we've made one, the next 6 stitches. If you're making along, you can press pause and carry on, and I'll see you at the end of the round. We can finish off together. So after you've made your 7 puff stitches, chain 1, yeah, and then we're going to make a US double, UK treble into the last stitch. We're then going to cut our yarn to change colour. So again, I'm going to chain 2, cut the yarn, pull the hook out, and pull those chains tight. Push that knot down. And that's how it should look at the end of round 2. For round 3, I'm using the pale rose. We're going to make a slip knot. And again, we're going to make a standing double. So you'll notice I'm using the right side of the work each time. So we are going to yarn over, hold those 2 loops, go into that standing double we made at the start of round 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, tighten it up, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and again I'm just going to pull that slip knot tight and chain 1. So we're now going to work into these chain 1 spaces that we made in between our puff stitches, and we're going to make 4 stitch clusters, and we will be making 8 of them all together. So we're going to go into that first chain space in between the standing stitch and the puff stitch of round 2. So we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch, pull the yarn through. We should have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then going to yarn over, go back into the space, pull the yarn through. There'll be 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. We're then going to yarn over, go back into the space, pull the yarn through. There should be 5 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. 4 loops left. Yarn over, go into the space, pull the yarn through. You should have 6 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, pull through 2. That's the start of our 4 stitches for our cluster. So we're going to finish it off, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. we're then going to chain 2. And we're going to repeat that in between each of these chain 1 spaces. So making a 4-stitch cluster, chain 2, and then moving into the next space to repeat. If you're making along, you can press pause, and I'll see you at the end of the round. We can finish off together again. At the end of round 3, we'll have made 8 clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you'll have gone into that last space. We just chain 1, and then we're going to make a US double, UK treble into that last stitch. And that's the end of round 3. So we're going to cut and tie the yarn. So these first 3 rounds that make up the half circle, this is the same pattern for the rectangle or the triangle. So we're now going to look at round 4 of the rectangle shape. So for round 4, I'm using the meadow colour from the Stylecraft Special DK range. We're going to begin by making a slip knot. And again, we're going to be making a standing stitch. This time we'll be making a US half double, and that's a UK half treble. So I just say the half stitch, but we start by yarning over. Hold your loops there, and we're going to go into the standing stitch we made on round 3. So go in, pull your yarn through. I've got that tail caught up in there. Let's just pull that out. There we go. Oh no, I seem to have twisted up. Right, let's start again. Yeah, let's try again. Right, so yarn over, go into the stitch. Here, this is where I made my mistake. Pull the yarn through, and we are going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. If you find the standing stitch is too tricky, you can just use chains instead. I'm going to tighten up that stitch from round 3. Okay, so we made 1 half stitch. We're now going to yarn over and go into that space between the standing stitch and the cluster from round 3, the chain 1 space. And we're going to make another half stitch. So yarn over, pull through all 3 and chain 1. We're now going to hop across into this space, and we're going to make 3 US doubles, UK trebles. Chain 1. So this next space now is going to be our corner. We're going to make 3 US trebles, UK double trebles. Yeah, so yarn over twice basically. Go into the space. We're going to make 3 of them. After your 3 stitches, chain 3, and we're going to make 3 more stitches into the same space, same stitches, US trebles, UK double trebles. I'm just going to grab some slack on my yarn, and then let's carry on. After those 3 stitches, you should have 6 stitches altogether to make up the corner. We then chain 1, hop across to the next space, and we're going to make 3 US doubles, UK trebles. Chain 1, and we're going to make 3 half stitches into the next space. So that's yarn over, go into the space, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and repeat 2 more times. Chain 1, into the next space, make 3 US doubles, UK trebles. Chain 1, and we're at the next corner. We're going to make 6 stitches again, starting with 3 US trebles, UK double trebles. Chain 3, and 3 more stitches. Same thing, US trebles, UK double trebles. That's our second corner made. I'm going to chain 1, into the next space, make 3 US doubles, UK trebles. Oops. Chain 1, and we're at the end of the round. We're going to make 1 stitch into the chain 1 space, but that'll be a half stitch, so yarn over, go into the chain space, pull through. We'll have 3 loops, pull through all 3, and then we're going to make a half stitch into that last stitch from round 3. Oops. Snagged on the yarn there. There we go, and that's the end of round 4. So I'm going to chain twice to cut and tie the yarn. And there we go, that's how your rectangle will look at the end of round 4. You might want to block it, but it will join up with the square. Let's have a look. Yeah, there you see. In the next video, we'll look at the triangle version. Thank you for watching.